already. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Plus, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour or even longer, it's nice just to talk to another Giant fan. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, there's a top link. It takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. If you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links. The top Facebook link takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group. What are we at? We're holding tight. We're over 3,900 members. Just a little shy of 4,000 members. We'll get there in another week or so, but it's really doing good. And usually what happens is when I get done going live here, I'll spend like the next hour, a couple hours or so, putting stuff in the group and or the page, which I'll go over in a minute. And, as I said, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, I try to get up to like about 10 items in there every day if I can, whether it's like, sharing an article or a post or a picture, or just showing a video or something that shows some stats of a player or something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, right? There's a ton of stuff going in here every day. And if you become a member, not only do I post stuff in here, but members post stuff in here as well, too. So there's a ton of New York Giants information going in there every day. And then the second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. It's a page. I'm the administrator in there, so I'm the only one to post anything in there, but it's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Basically, as I said, it's in every video. My YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and Facebook page, it's all called the same thing. It dumbs it down from a moron like me. I can remember. It's all called like the New York Giants, the Gridiron. That way I don't have to think, what's my group called? What is the channel called? Something different than the YouTube face. It's all called the same thing. It really makes it easy for me. We have over 1,900 likes in the page or on the page. We have over 6,300 people who are following the page. That's really doing simply marvelous. And as I said, it's the same thing, as with the group. Once I get done going live, I just start putting a bunch of stuff in the page and in the group. It's a ton of stuff every day. And I don't commingle them. So basically, for the most part, the stuff that I put in the page and I'll put in the group, whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. As I said, I try to get like the same amount of stuff in the page as I do in the group. I said, whether it's I'm sharing an article or it's a post, a picture, just showing some stats on a player. Once again, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, But as I said, I don't commingle, so I keep them separate. The stuff that I have in the page, I don't put in the group. And whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. I say, unless there's something really making fun of the Eagles, then I just want to share that with everybody. But other than that, I keep the stuff separate. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, between the two, you get a ton of New York Giants information 7 days a week, every day. Ton of stuff. And like I say all the time, if you go to the page and you like it and you follow, you go to the group and become a member. If you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, with all that stuff said and done with, let's see. Man, I got a bunch of stuff here. PFF showing Wink a little bit of love here. They had him number 6 defensive coordinator in the NFL. But there's something really interesting. He's number 6, but there's something very interesting. If you look at 4 out of the 6, the top 6, they all got something a little common. That's a little theme going on there between the top, according to PFF. Yeah, that's all we're going there by. All right, so let's bam, there we go. Wink Martindale named the top 10 defensive coordinator by PFF. So PFF showing the Giants some love. They showing Wink some love. That's good. He certainly well deserves it. That's for sure. So the Giants defensive coordinator Wink Martindale might not have found success in his last head coaching cycle, but that doesn't mean he's lost any luster on his star. The 60-year-old Martindale landed in Pro Football Focus's top 10 defensive coordinator list at number 6. I'll go over them there. It says Martindale may have moved from Baltimore to New York for his defensive coordinator duties, but his aggressive nature and play calling remained intact and successful. No team in the NFL last year played more cover 0 or cover 1. Meaning man coverage, than the Giants. Their coverage and pass rush units were in sync, yielding 136 pressures and 24 sacks while in man coverage. At 60 years old and with 18 years of NFL experience, Martindale is still dialing it up with the best of them. So, and you can expect more of that this year too. Is on a macro level, the Giant defense, which ranked 25th overall at 358.2 yards per game, has a lot of room for improvement. Yes, it does, especially with the run defense. Absolutely no question. The run defense finished 27th at 144 yards a game, and the pass defense was 24th at 214 yards a game. But as I said, once again, the Giants, their defense was 25th. But once again, there's the Einstein's theory of relativity. Everything's relative, right? If your offense is better, guess what your defense is doing? Sitting on the sideline drinking Kool-Aid. Are they giving up any running yards sitting on the sideline drinking Kool-Aid? Nope. Are they giving up any passing yards sitting on the sideline drinking Kool-Aid? Nope. Are they giving up any points? Unless they throw a pick 6 or something like that. But other than that, is the defense sitting on the sideline giving up any points drinking Kool-Aid? Nope. Everything's all relative. If your offense is better, right, you hold on to the ball longer, you got the good running game, but now you got a better passing attack, so you can, you got the run, set up the pass up the run, whatever you want to do. But if you keep the ball longer, your defense is on the sideline giving up less yards. So therefore, your defense basically going to have the same amount of guys, but they look better because they're giving up less yards. Why? Because they're on the field less. So, and also, relative to is with the injuries too. I mean, the sexy one has to be on the field 95% of the snaps. Well, he's going to start wearing down in the third and fourth quarter. There's no human being out there alive is going to be able to play all those snaps without wearing down. And injuries got a lot to do with it too. I said, but when it comes to situational football, third down and red zone, here we go. Martindale's defense finished as a top 5 defense in both categories. The Giants allowed a 35.12% conversion rate in the red zone. Very impressive. And a 49.21% conversion rate in the allowed a 35.12% conversion rate in the red zone and a 49.21% conversion rate in the red zone. Yeah, they screwed that up. Both ranked 5th in the regular season. So one of them, I think they're talking about third downs, and one of them, I think 35. I don't know. I have to check that out. But they said they allowed a 35% conversion rate in the red zone. Then they also allowed a 49% conversion rate in the red zone. So one of them is the third down conversion, and one of them is in the red zone. But they're ranked in the top 5. So a lot of it was kind of like bend but don't break. They maybe let you down there, but once they start getting into the red zone, they start stiffening up and making it a lot difficult. But let's see. If we go over to at least, well, let's see. It's the top 6, but let me go. Let's see here. Who we got here? Steve Wilkes, the 49ers. Yeah, he's number 10. So I mean, well, he's going to be there. So Evero, the defensive coordinator for the Panthers. Brian Flores, the Minnesota Vikings. Number 7, Raheem Morris of the Rams. But the top 6, all right, we got Steve Belichick and Bill Belichick, as defensive coordinators for the Patriots. They got them number 1, him number 1. Lou Anarumo, who used to be with the Giants, he's number 2. So number 1 and number 2 have something in common. Vic Fangio, Miami Dolphins. Dan Quinn, Dallas Cowboys. Can't argue with that. Does a phenomenal job for the Cowboys as a defense coordinator. Number 5, Steve Spagnuolo for the Kansas City Chiefs. And number 6, Don Wink Martindale. So what does Martindale, Spagnuolo, Anarumo, and Belichick all have in common? Okay, answers up. They all coach for the New York Football Giants, right? Belichick was back in the 80s. He was the defensive coordinator. Spagnuolo was the coordinator for the Giants, right? When it won Super Bowl. Obviously, Don Martindale right now, well, he's the coordinator right now for the Giants. And then Lou Anarumo was 2018. He was the Giants' secondary coach, I believe it was. Okay. There somewhere. I believe he was in between. Let's see. He went from the Miami Dolphins. He was with the Miami Dolphins, and then he wound up going to. Did I get it? Nope. I guess I skipped out of it. But he was with the Dolphins, I think, up to 17. In 2018, he was the Giants' defensive back coach, I believe. And then in 2019, he went to the Bengals to become their defensive coordinator. He's done a very good job for him. Very, very good job for him. So you figure Bill Belichick, Anarumo, Spagnuolo, and Martindale. 4 of the top 6 used to be defensive coaches or defensive coordinators for the New York Giants at one time. So that's something pretty interesting. But it's nice to see at least PFF's given because PFF doesn't always give the New York Giants a lot of love. Some of it's deservingly so. It's hard to argue with some of it. But up, Terrence, former Giants coaches. That's it. Yep. Yeah, Anarumo. Yeah, he was only here for 1 year, and then he went to the Bengals, and he's doing a really good job there. Really, really good job. I mean, because their defense is doing really good, but obviously, with the Bengals, when they got Burrow, but the wide receivers they got, that offense. All you need is a defense to give you a chance, and that's why once again they're going to be tough again this year too, as long as everybody stays healthy. Yeah. But it's pretty cool. You see 4 out of the top 6. Yeah, they all used to coach for the Giants. Well, 3 of them used to be defensive coordinators, but but then Anarumo, I believe that's how you pronounce it. He was just here for 1 year. Let's see here. Now, Eli Manning thinks, here thinks Daniel Jones is built tough for New York. Yeah, I got to give it to him. You have to be like numb. Because New York, it can be fantastic, but you can get eaten alive. If you let things really get to you and all that and everything. But you look at it like with Eli. Eli came in 2004. He took over the ship when we were 5-4. And by the time he got his first win, which was the final game of the season in 2004, he came in, we were 5-4, and then 6 games later, we were 5-10. He lost his first 6 games, finally won the final game of the season against the Cowboys at Giant Stadium to go, so we're going 6-10. But see, what the thing is with him, Eli was the perfect kind of person here. Just doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, very focused and all that and everything. But with Eli, he didn't have to be dealt the hand of like what Daniel Jones has, just struggling, not having a lot of good offensive weapons. I mean, Daniel Jones. I mean, I'm the Daniel with Eli Manning. They started building that offensive line for him. He had Tiki Barber in the backfield. Well, we got Saquon, right? But when Eli Manning came in, we had Jeremy Shockey, we had Amani Toomer, and in 2005 we got Plaxico Burress. So I mean, he had some weapons. I mean, between Tiki, Amani, Plaxico, and Jeremy, he had some weapons. And I said, then they started building that offensive line for him. So things really fell into place for him too. But I mean, you'll notice the one thing that really, really helped was when we got Plaxico in 2005. I mean, we went from 6-10 to 11-5. I mean, really big jump. And then we went 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. We went to the playoffs 4 years in a row. So I mean, he didn't have, he had the rough start of his rookie season. But then right after that, I mean, he was surrounded with a bunch of good guys, a good offensive line, good defense, good receivers, good wide receiver. Good tight end, good, running back. So he had some success, and he went to the playoffs and all that. But Daniel Jones, I mean, he struggled. Right? I mean, so you got to be even tougher with Daniel Jones. I mean, it's 4 seasons, right, with Daniel Jones, and finally he made the playoffs. But I mean, all the turnovers he's had to worry about. The numbers aren't fantastic. But then, of course, he has to take the brunt of the abuse from the media and all that. The fans. I mean, the offensive line has not been very good, and we haven't had the greatest weapons for him as far as wide receivers and maybe tight end talent and all of that. So Daniel Jones, I mean, it took him 4 years to make the playoffs. He finally made it. I mean, Eli was there in the second season. So for Daniel Jones to still be focused on the prize and not let New York eat him alive so far going into his 5th season, that's pretty impressive. So if anybody knows about being tough for New York, Eli would be the man. That's for sure, without question. What is this? Is it Sports Illustrated? Who we got here? Fan Nation, Giants Country. Oh, Patty Traynor. There you go. Patty Traynor. Oh, yeah. Says perhaps no one knows the challenges and pressures of playing in New York market more than the retired New York Giants quarterback Eli Manning. Absolutely. Yet Manning successfully navigated through the maze thanks to his steel-like resolve and dedication to his job, which, Daniel Jones is like a walking, talking kind of Eli Manning kind of. Maybe doesn't quite have the the throwing skill. Maybe I mean he's better athletic than Eli is. That's for sure. Daniel Jones, but it says Eli's resolve and dedication. It says those traits were just a few examples that Manning taught Daniel Jones, his successor. And Jones, like Manning, has built up enough calluses, to survive the sometimes brutal environment that can eat some professional athletes alive. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Manning said, Daniel has handled it so well, Manning said during a recent appearance on the NFL Network's Good Morning Football program. Every game you could come in and throw 4 touchdowns, and I'll say you're the greatest player and the MVP. But the next week, you throw 2 interceptions, and they're saying you're a bust and a big mistake. That's it. There you go. Yep, absolutely. You've got to deal with that, and you've got to handle that. But I think he's handled it so well. Oh, yeah. I mean, because there's been a lot of criticism, a lot. And you figure after 4 seasons with all the criticism Daniel Jones has had, if he hasn't been eaten alive yet, he's doing good. Jones' professional demeanor closely resembles Manning. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness, yeah. From back in the day, it's almost scary. Yes, it is. It is almost scary. The 26-year-old doesn't let anything bother him. He is guarded with what he says to what he says to the media. And he just goes about his business as though he never earned that 4-year, $160 million payday he signed in March. Let's see. if you know anything about Daniel Jones, the guy is the hardest worker no matter what the situation is, receiver Sterling Shepard said earlier this month. I expect him to have the mentality of, I'm going to show everybody what I deserve this money. And I mean, he's always approached the game and practice day to day with the rigid mindset. I'm looking forward to seeing him out there balling. Unlike Manning, who is rarely spotted letting his hair down, Jones doesn't seem bothered if he's caught in public living his life. He recently took the stage at the Zach Bryan concert, doing what any other music fan might want to do by singing and dancing along, and even taking a good-natured jab from Bryan, who is a noted Eagle fan. Yeah, I wouldn't have gone on stage with him. Absolutely not. I give Daniel Jones a lot of credit. If he's an Eagle fan, I am absolutely. I ain't going to his concert. Absolutely not. Let's see. And then there's another side of Jones that only his teammates and those closest to him get to see: his sense of humor, which is exactly what happened with Eli Manning. Eli Manning was a jokester. He used to do some practical jokes. Absolutely. So Daniel Jones is just a lot like him. It's scary, right? Both tall, about the same height, close to the same height, brown hair. They're very, I mean, they don't get too high, don't get too low, right? I mean, scary. He's got a lot of personality that you get to see once you get to know him some more, said tight end Darren Waller. It's been fun, man, getting extra throwing sessions in, working in the weight room, a lot of jokes, just having lunch together. You can tell guys are really close around here, and he leads that energy. Shepard chuckled that Jones doesn't have that money swag that some players get after signing a new lucrative contract, but Jones does have a different sort of air about him that is hard not to notice. Confidence. Yeah. I just say that he's got much more confident level with our offense. Head coach Brian Daboll said we've added, I said, considerably new things to these camps just to see how they look. But he's got good give and take with the offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, seeing how players look in different spots. He's had a really good camp. So, I mean, I mean, it is almost kind of scary. You know what I'm saying? Jones has the right demeanor. Oh yeah, I think it's almost, you know what I mean? It's, it is weird. I mean, they almost kind of look alike, the same height, same brown hair, I mean, they don't get too high, don't get too low. It is really almost kind of scary. But I mean, that's the thing is, if you don't have that right demeanor, I mean, you would have to win almost every Super Bowl. If you don't win every Super Bowl, and they start like throwing jabs at you and stuff, like, if you don't have the right demeanor, it's going to eat you alive. I mean, because the New York media can be pretty brutal. So I mean, it's not easy. It is not easy at all to be a quarterback here. As I said, if you win every Super Bowl, if you win every Super Bowl, hey, life's great here, right? But that's what Mr. Mara said about Brian Daboll. He said, long as you're winning games and everything's looking good, and you go into the playoffs and you win a playoff game and all that, he says you're Bono, who I guess is, I think, the lead singer for U2. So I think that's what he was referring to, I think. But he said, you can go from Bono real fast to Bozo. I mean, you start losing a couple games and everything's coming, and all the media say, "Oh, what's going on? You guys stink. What's wrong? You the worst coach of all time, Brian Daboll. What do you think?" I mean, so you're going to go from Bono to Bozo. So it don't take long. It's what it said in that article. You can throw 4 touchdowns one week and you're the man. The next week you throw 2 interceptions and you guys wind up losing and you're a bust. You don't deserve any of your money. So it's not easy in New York, that's for sure. But I mean, I said not everybody can play here. And what do we got here? 5 bold predictions. Who is this? This is fan-sided? Fan-sided. G-Men HQ. 5 bold predictions for the New York Giants defense in 2023. All right, here we go. Deonte Banks proves to be the cornerback number 1 of the future. I like that. That's good. On the Giants' current depth chart, Adoree Jackson is cornerback number 1, and Banks, the Giants' first-round pick, is cornerback number 2. But by the end of the season, Giants Nation will regard Banks as the best cornerback on the team. There's very little not to like about Banks. The Maryland product is a fiery cornerback that talks a lot of trash. And well, if he talks a lot of trash, he certainly doesn't do much talking anywhere else. I mean, he very few words when people ask him questions and all that. I mean, he doesn't say much of anything. So if he trash talks, I mean, okay. Probably doesn't say a lot, though, when he does trash talk. Let's see. And he was one of the biggest risers in the pre-draft process. At the Combine, Banks ran I got here 4.35 40. Very nice. Posted the third best defensive back broad jump in NFL Combine history. Very impressive. Very impressive. And recorded a ridiculous 42-inch vertical leap. You hit 40 inches, man. That's just, even 38, 39, but you're hitting 40. That's ridiculous. That is just unbelievable. I mean, you're 3.5 feet off the ground. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's crazy. The Giants defense plays extensive man-to-man coverage, an area in which Banks excels. Opposing quarterbacks completed just 43.3% of their passes when targeting Banks in his final collegiate season. The absurdly athletic Giant was left on an island against Ohio State superstar Marvin Harrison in November, when they played each other last year. And Marvin Harrison, quite possibly, he's going to be out of the Giants' reach, unfortunately, because it says he will most likely be a top 5 pick. So if top 5, quite possibly, I mean, probably not getting out of the top 10, if anything else, okay? And let's not hope that the Giants are down there where we can pick them, all right? Hopefully we're picking in the 20s, if not the 30s, if you know what I mean. But Banks gave up just 53 yards to Harrison. And 53 yards was the most he gave up in a 2022 game. It was 53 yards. So very, very, just a fantastic. I mean, all signs point to being a fantastic pick for the New York Giants. Playing alongside Jackson will significantly help ease Banks' transition to the NFL. While Jackson will likely be guarding opposing wide receivers number 1 like ABCD Lamb, Terry McLaurin, A.J. Brown, and Stephon Diggs. Oh, yeah, good luck there. Banks will likely face the wide receivers too, like Brandon Cooks, Jahan Dotson, DeVonta Smith, and Gabe Davis. I wouldn't be shocked by midseason if Banks starts to switch the roles a little bit, right? So Banks goes to the number 1, and you put Adoree on the number 2s. Number 4, the Giants' run defense finishes in the top half in yards allowed. Oh, yeah, I can definitely see this happening. Absolutely. The Giants' interior defensive line had a ton of talent in 2022, but zero depth. Yep. Yep. Well, they had depth. They just were not that good. When Dexter Lawrence or Leonard Williams came off the field, opponents ran the ball down their backups' throats. Giants gave up the 6th most rushing yards per game last fall. This upcoming fall, the Giants defense will flip the switch and become an above-average unit in stopping the run. Absolutely. I'm not going to say they're the top 5. I'd like to think so. I'd like that would happen. But, I mean, I definitely, without question, with what they added, I mean, with Robinson and Roaches, but, I mean, the sexy Leonard Williams, but then a Karake, too. Now you got a linebacker that can, at least roam around from sideline to sideline and make some tackles. So definitely the Giants defense, the run defense will certainly be in the upper half, without question. Number 3, and I got this here. Ooh, I don't know. Leonard Williams will have 10-plus sacks season. Now, the thing is, the last time he was on a contract season or whatever, right? I think that's when he had the 11 sacks, 11 and a half sacks, and he wound up getting a nice big deal from the Giants. So, well, they said, but Leonard Williams will have a 10-plus sack season. The Giants gave Sexy Dexy a monstrous 4-year, $90 million contract extension in early May. He is the face of the Giants defense. However, he may not be the most important player in the Giants defense. Well, that honor goes to Leonard Williams. After being traded to the Giants from the Jets in 2019, Williams has become the leader of the defensive unit. Williams has 21 sacks over the course of 53 games played with Big Blue. Now, Lawrence has become a superstar defensive lineman. The pressure shifts back to Williams. Now, the thing is, he posted 11 and a half sacks in 2020 while playing on a much worse defense. He's primed for double-digit sack in 23. Well, the thing, I hope he gets it. That would be fantastic and all that stuff. The problem is that if he wants to have like another 11 to 12, because he doesn't have a contract for next year, right? So say he's healthy, right? He balls out like he did in 2020, has a great year, has 10 sacks, right? He's a monster, things are looking pretty good. Well, now what's he going to want? Right, we're paying the sexy one over $20 million. What's Leonard? Are we going to want to pay him, say, $20 million? We're going to want to dish out $40 to $45 million for our two defensive line. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. So, unfortunately, you want him to, of course, have a phenomenal season, but then he might just wind up balling himself out of the Giants' price range. So, it'd be interesting to see. I hope they can keep the two guys together, because they're like big brother, little brother, and all that. They're two nice, good combo, Then you got Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari both have Pro Bowl campaigns they got here from Fansided. The Giants have two young pass rushers and insanely high ceilings for the first time since Justin Tuck and Jason Pierre-Paul suited up together. The only problem with Kayvon and Azeez is health. Yep. But make no question about it. If they are on the field, they're insanely dangerous. Yep. Absolutely. Especially if Kayvon starts getting some of those holding calls. Ojulari said the Giants' rookie sacks record in 2021, he played in just 7 games due to multiple injuries in 2020. And even some of those games, he hardly played any snaps at all. But he still had 5.5 sacks. It's crazy. When Ojulari's on the field, he's going to sack the opposing quarterback. As for Thibodeau, he recorded they show a video of the strip sack against the Commanders where he goes in there, gets the sack, he sheds the blocker, gets the sack, strips the ball, gets up, picks the ball up, and rolls into the end zone for a touchdown. So says that the touchdown they're talking about helped to beat the Commanders by a touchdown. Absolutely. That was a huge play. I said that week essentially secured the Giants, essentially the postseason berth, because that was a big game because they had to beat the Commanders, and they wound up doing that. So, but I hope they have all that Pro Bowl seasons, but they certainly could without question. Azeez could certainly get double digits without question. He's got to stay healthy now. All right, then this one here, they got the 5 things that can have 5 bold predictions here. The number 1 overall is Cordell Flott solidifies. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Cordell Flott solidifies the slot, right? Solidifies himself as the starting slot corner. He's going to bump out Darnay, I guess, and any other guys that they have in there. Whoever wrote this article, I am a massive Cordell Flott fan. When the Giants drafted Flott in the 3rd round of the 2022 NFL draft, most fans had never heard of the LSU product. 1 year later, Flott, who's only 21, he's just a baby. He's not only one of the NFL's youngest players, but he's primed to secure a starting job on the Giants defense. Yeah, he's like 21. It's going to be his 2nd season. It's crazy. Said Flott played sparingly in 2022, but flashed in spurts. The 6'1", 175-pound corner matched up against A.J. Brown in the regular season finale and held his own. Giants coach Brian Daboll was very impressed with the youngster. Let's see here. The speed and athleticism Flott jumps off the page. His competition for starting slot this fall will be Darnay Holmes. Holmes is coming off a bit of a down year in 22, but Big Blue can also save just under $3 million in cap space by releasing Holmes. So I'll have to wait and see. That's. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. My dog. He's by my feet. I had to stretch my feet. I woke him up. So, I mean, that's going to be one of those battles. We're going to have to wind up waiting and see who makes it, who doesn't. Holmes and Flat will be on the 53. I said, unless they want to release in the Holmes, maybe just to save some money. But other than that, I mean, that's going to be one of those interesting battles. Who does win the slot? Because we pretty much know Adoree's got the one cornerback and Banks has got the other one. That we pretty much, and Xavier McKinney's got the safety. So who does other two positions? Who's going to be lining up next to Xavier? And then who's going to be the guy in the slot? Interesting to see. And then I got this article here from Pro Football Network, right? Yeah, Pro Football Network. They got the New York Giants roster ranking players who can make final depth cuts. Interesting. And so they're projecting the Giants 2023 roster and depth chart. All right, so for quarterback, they got Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. Tommy DeVito is out. Boom, he's out. So Taylor will serve as Jones' backup. Oh, absolutely. As he wraps up his 2-year, $11 million a year contract he inked with the Giants last offseason. New York only carried 2 quarterbacks last season, and there's no indication they'll change their stripes in 2023. But see, they also both have, have gotten injured in the past. So Tyrod only played a little bit last year. Remember, he got injured. So, and then Daniel Jones seems like he likes to get injured as well too. So, I mean, I hope they get somebody else, at least on the practice squad. But DeVito appears ticketed for the practice squad unless New York finds another developmental signal caller it likes better on the waiver wire. All right, running backs. Now, this one I got a little interesting here. Who's in? Saquon, Breida, Gray, and Brightwell. They say Jashaun Corbin is on the out. Barkley will almost assertively play for the Giants in 2023, although he's unhappy with the franchise tag. Well, whatever. Breida and Gray are roster locks and would likely serve in a committee in a highly unlikely event that Barkley chooses not to report. Breida will likely enter camp as the number 2 on the depth chart, but Gray could become Barkley's primary caddy by week 1. Interesting. Brightwell has the edge over Corbin after playing more than 60% of New York special team snaps in 2022. But let's not also forget, though, that this regime brought Corbin in. They didn't bring in Brightwell. He came with the team. So, wide receiver. Now, here we go. Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins, Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Sterling Shepard. But, I mean, does Wan'Dale and Sterling both start on the pup? So, here they have out. Who the guys on the out? They got Jamison Crowder, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Colin Johnson, Mickens, Pimpleton, Polk, Sills, and Jeff Smith are on the out. But, if Robinson and Sterling Shepard start on pup, who from the out is going to be in? Is it going to be Crowder and Johnson maybe? Or, it says here, if everyone is healthy, the Giants' top 6 receivers appear to be set in stone. But injuries are a major question mark. Robinson and Shepard are both coming off torn ACLs and might not be ready for the start of the season. If they're placed on a physically able, the PUP list, 2 more spots would open up. Yes, absolutely. In that scenario, New York would have several intriguing candidates to fill those holes. Crowder offers a ton of experience and some special teams play, which is huge, right? Giants may have already had too many slot receivers. Jeff Smith offers special teams value, while New York guaranteed Bryce Ford Wheaton $236,000 as an undrafted free agent. Let's see, tight end. All right, they got Darren Waller, Daniel Bellinger, Lawrence Cager, and Tommy Sweeney. They make it. Ryan Jones and Chris Myrick are on the out. It says here New York only kept 3 tight ends last season, but we're projecting them to roster 4 tight ends in 2023. Cager is the better pass catcher who will spell Waller when needed, and Sweeney is a blocking specialist who played under Giants head coach Brian Daboll when both were in Buffalo from 2019 to 2021. All right, the offensive line they got here. Thomas, Bredesen, Michael Schmitz, Glowinski, Evan Thomas, Zudu, Parrott, yeah, all right. Tyree Phillips and Shane Lemieux. Wow. I guess maybe McKeithen might be on the maybe the pup list, maybe. Let's see here. It says Parrott, Phillips, Lemieux, Hassanauer, and McKeithen are likely competing for 3 spots. Phillips seems like the closest thing to a lock. He played 365 snaps last season and offers guard versatility. Parrott has more experience than McKeithen, but the latter was actually drafted by New York's current regime. McKeithen was drafted by this regime before suffering his torn ACL during last year's training camp. So, what do they got? They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess they got 9 guys. I guess. I mean, I'm not sure if that includes maybe. They even got Shane. They think Shane Lemieux is going to there instead of Jack Anderson or Corey Cunningham or Wyatt Davis. Interesting. Well, or McKeithen. Interesting. I mean, I'm saying. I mean, yeah. I mean, so with this, I'm not exactly sure if they're talking about, making the final 53, or maybe, the guys that don't make the 53. Those are some of those guys that they say are in, or they're going to be on a practice squad too. That I'm not sure. I mean, they say McKeithen's out. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know about Shane and Dave. We're going to be drafting McKeithen in the 5th round, and they're going to be letting him go in the 2nd season. I don't see that. So maybe some of those guys who are on the out, maybe some of those might be going to the practice squad. Maybe that's the only thing I can think of. I don't think McKeithen's going anywhere. Defensive line. Okay, wow. All right, they got Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Ashawn Robinson, Rakeem Nunez, Roaches, and Jordan Riley. Yeah. Okay. So then they say on the out. So there's quite possibly, this must mean maybe the practice. Some of these guys might make the press squad because they got Ryder Anderson, Vernon Butler, obviously DJ Davidson, who they drafted last year, right? And then Kobe Smith. So the guys who are on the out, they might have one or so of those guys maybe go to the practice squad. So they got Jordan Riley over Ryder Anderson and Vernon Butler and DJ Davidson. Says the Giants might keep 6 defensive line, but given how many snaps Lawrence and Williams can play, we're rolling with 5 for now. The only question is whether Riley can beat out Davidson. Yeah. Who is recovering from an ACL injury. We're going with Riley's based on health, but the loser of this competition should pass through waivers and end up on a Giants practice squad. So I'm saying, so according to this, they might be saying that Ryder Anderson is out. Is gone. I'll be cutting them. Interesting. All right, edge. Let's see. Who are going to be the top 2 edge rushers? I got Kayvon Azeez. I got Hottie, Oshane, and Toman Fox. Baldonado and Ellison Smith are on the out. So maybe, I guess there might be those guys who be on the practice squad. I can't see now. I'd have a hard time seeing them letting Baldonado go. If he's not on, just cutting him. I think he's going to be, if he don't make the 53, they see something in him, let's see if they can try to give him a chance to work some of his magic and maybe at least get him on the practice squad. The problem is with Ellison Smith is is he healthy enough? Can he participate? And I said, he wasn't drafted by these guys either. So the Giants didn't sign or draft any new edge rushers over the offseason, so it looks like they'll bring back the same top 5 options for 2022. Thibodeau and Ojulari are the clear-cut starters, while Ward remains a favorite of the defense of Wink Martindale. New York could theoretically add a free agent pass rusher before the season begins. Yes, it could, if they're not satisfied with their depth. But Fox could still make the roster in that scenario thanks to his special teams ability, which is huge. The Giants had a veteran edge rusher. They could cut a player at a different position and keep 6 outside backers. All right, then we got linebacker. Got a Karake McFadden, Darian Beavers, Carter Coughlin. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Cam Brown. Wow. Wow. Okay, well, maybe they're keeping Carter Coughlin and Cam Brown over Jared Davis because of their special teams ability. Interesting. This is on the out. Troy Brown, Deontay Johnson, and Jared Davis. It's on the out. Wow. All right, well, we'll see. We're projecting the Giants to make a somewhat surprising decision at linebacker by cutting Davis. Yeah. Who played 70 snaps in New York's divisional round loss to the Eagles. Davis was bouncing on and off the practice squad as recently as last season, and there's a chance the Giants will turn to their young options and hope they can slip Davis back to the taxi squad, or I guess the practice squad, I guess. Okereke should be on the field for nearly every snap after inking a 4-year, $40 million deal. If Davis gets cut, McFadden and Beavers should compete for a starting role on the inside. Yep. Carter Coughlin and Cam Brown aren't realistic candidates to start. No. But they're tied for the most special team snaps on the Giants roster last year. So they're key special teams contributors, which is huge. So maybe because there are key contributors on special teams, that's why in this scenario here, they have them getting rid of Davis, or maybe trying to get him on the practice squad. So then they got, who we got? Cornerback. All right, who's in? I'm so excited. Drum roll, please. They got Adoree Jackson, Deontay Banks, Cordell Flott, Trey Hawkins, and Amani Oruwariye. What the? Who in the? Wow. Aaron Robinson, Rodarius Williams, Leonard Johnson, Darnay Holmes are on the out. Wow. Okay. All right. Says Jackson and Banks will start on the outside while Flott should win the starting job over Holmes. Should? Okay. All right. In that case, Holmes could be a release candidate. His salary would jump to nearly $3 million in 2023 after he reached the NFL's proven performance escalator, but none of that total is guaranteed. Hawkins should make the team as a rookie sixth-rounder. Yep. While Oruwariye offers the sort of veteran experience, 36 career starts, that the Giants are sorely lacking. Yeah, but his middle name was Toast last year, so I don't know. Let's wait and say. All right, now get safeties. Here we go. They got here Xavier McKinney, Pinnock, McCain, Belton, and McLeod. Then they have on the out Trenton Thompson, Alex Cook, and Javarius Owens. So, well, they're not cutting Owens. I guess they must be on the out. They're going to try to maybe get him on the practice squad because they're not letting that guy go. Absolutely not. One of the reasons the Giants might feel comfortable cutting Holmes is because they have a plethora of safeties who can also handle the slot. McCain played more than 400 slot snaps for the Commanders last season. That's a chunk. That's a nice chunk amount. While McLeod is a converted corner who can also take inside duties. So McKinney's a surefire starter, but any of the other four safeties projected to make New York's roster could earn a starting role alongside him. Pinnock, McCain, and Belton are probably close to the roster locks, but McLeod will have to fend off Owens, whom the Giants drafted in the 7th round. Yes, I mean, if McLeod winds up beating out Owens, then Owens are going to try to, get him on the practice squad, hopefully, because they're not spending a draft pick on the guy and just letting him go. That ain't happening. Then you got the specialists here: Graham Gano, the Scottish Hammer, Mr. Jamie Gillen, and Casey Kreider. Cameron Lyons, the long snapper, is out. So they're saying Kreider is going to beat Lyons. Says no drama here. The Giants won't force Gano or Gillen to walk through the training camp battles, and Lyons is unlikely to beat out Kreider for the New York's long snapper job. So that's just an interesting look. I mean, as I said, that's just some of the interesting stuff that's going on. It's about 4 weeks or so away. Who's going to be in the slot? There's quite a few of them. We can go over this, but who's going to be in the slot? Who's going to be lining up next to Xavier? Who's going to be lining up next to Okereke? What are they doing with the tight ends? Are they keeping 3 on the roster? Or are they going to keep 4? But on the 53. How many wide receivers are they keeping? What is Sterling Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson? What are they projecting? Pup, or as I said, I mean, if they think maybe Sterling Shepard can go back for week 2, he's right on, but he's not quite ready yet for week 1. But week 2, he might be there. They can put him on the 53 and just make him inactive for the week, right? So that way he's not on pup or nothing, whatever like that. So he can start, on the first week maybe just keep him inactive, in the second week just put him on the line. So that's interesting there. Obviously the left guard position. Right. I mean, probably there's a good chance Glowinski's got the right guard pretty much sewn up. So as far as anybody beating him out, probably not going to happen. But I mean, who's going to win obviously the left guard position, and with the running backs. I mean, obviously, Saquon will be there. Who they keeping? Who they letting go? And maybe who's on the practice squad? Because I mean, you figure, if last year they had the killer bees, they had Barkley, Breida, Brightwell, and Jashawn Corbin was on the practice squad, so they had the 4. Right. Well, now they got 5. They got some dude named Eric Gray. So it's going to be Barkley, Gray, and Breida, right? Maybe. And then Brightwell and Corbin, those 2. One's gone, one's on the practice squad. So, I mean, we'll have to interest and see there. But, I mean, lots of competition. So that's really, really going to really be good. Very, very exciting. But we'll find all that out in about let's see. About 2, a little over 3 weeks, 25, 3.5 weeks or so. Yeah, that's right, because tomorrow's the 1st. They come into 25th, so 25 days, about 3.5 weeks. Wow, man. Whew. Time is flying, guys. Time is flying. Well, it's been 51 minutes. Terrence, as always, buddy, good talking to you, pal. Thank you. Whoever spends any time at all watching me, thank you. Or whoever spends any time at all watching the replay. Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. It means the world to me. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.